The idea of creating a horse carousel toy had been lingering in my mind for weeks. I wanted something charming, nostalgic, and playful, something that would bring back the magic of old amusement parks, where children's laughter blended with the cheerful music of spinning carousels. I decided that this would be my next handcraft project, a miniature horse carousel toy, made entirely by hand, with attention to every tiny detail. I began by gathering the essential materials. For the base, I chose a round wooden board, sturdy enough to support the carousel structure. I also picked up a wooden dowel for the central pole, lightweight cardboard for the roof panels, small sticks for horse poles, and several sheets of polymer clay to sculpt the horses. In addition, I stocked up on acrylic paints, glitter, miniature bells, glue, sandpaper, and a tiny wind-up music mechanism that would give the carousel its charming tune. Just collecting all these supplies felt like the first magical step. Before starting the actual building, I made sketches in my notebook. I drew the top view, side view, and even close UPS of the horses, deciding how many I wanted, 6 in total, evenly spaced around the carousel. Each horse would be unique in color and pose, some galloping, some rearing slightly, all looking full of life and motion. I also designed the roof with alternating panels of pastel pink and soft cream, decorated with golden trim. My aim was to create a piece that looked like it had come straight from a vintage fairground. The first construction step was the base. I sanded the wooden board until it was perfectly smooth, then painted it a deep burgundy with gold swirls along the edges. This would be the stage on which the entire carousel spun. For the central pole, I used the wooden dowel, wrapping it in thin strips of golden foil to give it a luxurious sheen. I fixed the dowel upright in the center of the base using strong wood glue, making sure it was perfectly vertical. Next, I began working on the horses. This was my favorite part. I shaped each horse from polymer clay, paying attention to details like flowing manes, expressive eyes, and delicate hooves. Once sculpted, I baked them carefully according to the clay's instructions. After they cooled, I painted them in different color schemes: white with a blue saddle, chestnut with a red saddle, black with silver details, and so on. I even added tiny dots of paint for the eyes and a hint of pink inside the ears. To make them extra festive, I brushed a little glitter along their manes and tails, so they sparkled when the light hit them. The roof came next. I cut triangular panels from sturdy cardboard and arranged them into a cone shape, making sure they fit snugly around the central pole. Each panel was painted alternately in pink and cream, with thin golden stripes along the seams. At the very top, I attached a small golden bead to serve as the finial, giving the whole roof a classic carousel silhouette. To mount the horses, I painted the small sticks gold and inserted one through the saddle area of each horse, securing them with glue. Then I attached the other end of each stick to the roof structure, so the horses seemed to be suspended in midair, ready to gallop around. I made sure to vary their heights slightly, just like a real carousel, so that some horses looked as though they were rising while others were dipping. Once all the horses were in place, I installed the wind-up music mechanism inside the base. It was small, but when I turned the key, it played a cheerful melody that instantly transported me to childhood memories of fairs and playgrounds. I connected it to a simple rotating disc so that when the music played, the carousel would slowly spin. Seeing it turn for the first time, with the horses shimmering under the soft light, was incredibly satisfying. The finishing touches were perhaps the most enjoyable. I glued tiny gold beads along the edge of the roof, attached miniature bells at each corner, and painted delicate floral patterns on the panels between the horses. I even sprinkled a little iridescent powder over the base so that it caught the light like stardust. When it was finally complete, I placed the horse carousel toy on my work table and wound it up. The music began to play, the horses began to move in a gentle circle, and for a moment, my entire room felt like a magical fairground. The project had taken days of careful work planning, sculpting, painting, assembling, but the result was worth every second. It wasn't just a toy, it was a tiny world full of nostalgia, joy, and craftsmanship. Friends who saw it couldn't help but smile. Some wanted to spin it over and over, while others simply admired the level of detail. I explained that for me, handcrafting is more than just making an object, it's telling a story through materials, colors, and design. This carousel told the story of summer afternoons